I might want to see a slasher, but I definitely don't want to see a tearjerker. Did you know what I just said? Hello everyone, my name is Ehab and this is English with Ehab, where we talk about English, we practice it, and hopefully by the end of the lesson we learn something about English. Today it is going to be a video, a conversation topic, and the topic for today is going to be movies, because we all love movies and we like watching movies. So the video will be two parts. The first part, I'm going to spend quite a bit of time talking about certain terms, maybe expressions and vocabulary that we use whenever we have a conversation about films. Then the second part of the video, I'm actually going to show you a dialogue between two people that utilizes the terms and shows you what an example of a topic, of this particular topic, might look like. So let's go ahead and get to the board. Okay, so we are going to focus a little bit right now on the terms, expressions, words and vocabulary that are used when two people or two or more people have a discussion about films or a conversation about films. So let's go one by one. A lot of times when we are talking about movies, the genre comes up. Genre basically means the type or kind. You can use this with movies, but you can use it with anything else. You can use it with music. You can also use it with books. So we have to figure out what kind of a film we are talking about. Is it an action film? An action film means it's exciting, could be violent. An example of that would be Fast and the Furious. Is it a dramatic film? A dramatic film is a realistic story, a story that seems to be true, but is actually not true. Titanic would be an example of that. Is it a comedy film? A comedy is something funny. Think of Hangover. Horror movie. Horror is a scary film. Think of the movie It. Sci-fi. Sci-fi is basically a movie about the future and what the future might look like. Think about a movie like Star Wars. Documentary. A documentary is a true story, and it is about real people or events. The example that I thought of was Inconvenient Truth. This was a documentary which came out many, many years ago, and it was about global warming. These are some other terms that we use when we have a discussion about movies or films. The character. The character is one of the people who are in the story. Scene. Scene is just a small part of the film. So sometimes there's a scene in the film where people really like it and they say that was a very great scene or a funny scene or a serious scene. It just means one small part of the film. The plot. The plot is the story. So when you go out to a movie theater or cinema or even in your own home and you want to watch a film, this is really important because you have to ask yourself, what kind of a story am I going to be interested in watching? The cast. The cast are the actor and the actresses. These are the people that are acting the parts. The director. The director is sort of like the manager of the film. And this is the person that's responsible for putting the film together. Excuse me. These are some other expressions that we use with films. Flick. Flick just means a movie. So if somebody says, hey, do you want to see a flick tonight? They are saying, do you want to see a movie tonight? Tearjerker. This is what I said in the beginning of the video, the teaser that I had. A tearjerker is kind of a film that makes you a little sad. Maybe it makes you cry. Slasher. Slasher is another word for a scary film. The reason why we call it slasher is because a lot of times when we think of films which are scary, somebody has a knife and they are stabbing. That's why we call it slasher. The last one is chick flick. This is a term that we use in America quite often. A chick flick basically means a movie that probably a woman would like to see and not necessarily a man, because maybe there's not a lot of action in it, maybe it's not too exciting. Anyways, That's a term, and again, what you consider as chick flick is going to be different from one person to another. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the conclusion where we see an example of a dialogue about the topic movies. Okay, so on the board right behind me is a small dialogue. We have two people here. We have A and we have B, and they're just having a small conversation about movies. So let's check it out. A says, "Hey, did you want to see a flick tonight?" Remember, flick is just another word for movie. B says, "Sure, what genre?" When we say what genre, B is asking A, what kind of movie did you want to see? Did you want to see a scary movie, a drama, an action movie? A says, "I'm not sure. How about that new Angelina Jolie film?" So Angelina Jolie is a famous actress, and he was just, and A is just basically saying, did you want to see the movie where she is in it? B says, "Is it a tearjerker?" Again, tearjerker is a movie which is going to be a little bit too dramatic, might make you cry, kind of sad. A says, "I don't think so. It looks more like an action movie." B says, "Actually, I'm in the mood to laugh. How about a comedy?" Sometimes when we have very long days, maybe we are dealing with too much. We don't want to see a drama. Or we don't want to see a tearjerker, or maybe a scary movie or an action movie. We want something that is going to make us relax. And that's what B says. B says, "I'm in the mood to laugh." A says, "That sounds good. I'm also in no mood for anything too violent or exciting." So A agreed with B. B says, "Sounds good. There's a comedy playing tonight at 8. Let's go see it." So that is just a small example of a dialogue between two people talking about movies. But again, there could be so many different types of conversations that you can have. Anyways, I hope you learned something today. If you did like the video, if you can please subscribe and like it, I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, keep speaking English. Bye-bye.